Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the ENT Youth Services Podcast. ENT Youth Services strives to empower, nurture, and transform opportunity youth to become individuals with essential life skills that are necessary to make a valuable contribution to their communities and the world. Stay connected with ENT via your favorite social media apps and help us get the word out, giving us a 5-star rating on YouTube and also, just sharing our podcast. Now let's start today's episode.
Another episode of our ENT Youth Services podcast. ENT Youth Services strive to empower, nurture, and transform opportunity youth to become individuals with essential life skills that are necessary to make a valuable contribution in their communities. Stay connected with ENT via your favorite social media apps and help us get to the word out by giving us a 5-star rating. So we'll get started tonight. We're going to follow up with our episode of the role of a Black father. My name is Jennifer Heaven, and I am the lead parent to the Parent Podcast, and I will be one of your moderators this evening. So to get started, I'd like to welcome back our guest speaker, Mr. Marvin Autry, from our last episode. Mr. Autry, can you please reintroduce yourself to our listeners?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I am Marvin Autry, father of two beautiful black children, a son and a daughter, uh, the son of two beautiful black parents, and the sibling of a beautiful black male. And I'm also the deputy chief of police at a local university.
Great. So, on our last episode, we discussed the differences in your fathering style when it relates to your son versus your daughter. I recently read an article that discussed the common roles when relating to the role of a father. They had 5 categories, which was a participator, a playmate, a guide, a provider, and a preparer. Um, so, how do you describe these in your own words, and does it differ for your son versus your daughter? And we can go one by one.
Which one you want to start with?
We can go with the participator, problem solver is one of the key ones.
So, participator for me, excuse me, with both of my children when they were young. Um, Number one, I'm probably their first playmate. I'm the biggest kid in the world. So I participate in their games, the things that they're doing. My son played basketball in school. My daughter is active. So I participate in those things. School, of course, you have to be a part of that. And then you have to be a participant in their conversations. I listen and I hear what they have to say, and then I give my feedback. And then I hope that they see me as a participant in their choices that they make, because I try to guide them in certain directions. I think we have to learn what our children's skills and assets are, because I think sometimes we know it before they do, and then I try to guide them in that direction where I see their skills are. So participation to me uh, means that.
Do you think that role differs being a parent of black and brown children?
I think because of where we live in this country, I think color always makes a difference. And when it comes to our people, um, absolutely is going to be different, because there are different things that our children have to be prepared for. And we can't just do one thing. Same thing like we talked about last week when we talked about um, most children, when they learn how to drive, their parents teach them the basics of driving. With our children, we have to add to them that conversation about what you do when the police pull you over. And so yes, I definitely think it's different when it comes to our children. And I'm asking, please, that you forgive my voice. My voice is really struggling today. The last 2 days, I've been out in the elements. So excuse me.
Not a problem. So the next one I think you kind of touched on already, which was the playmate, and you already spoke to being that active, playful father when it comes to your children.
I think that's the first step in humanizing yourself with your children. I think to some degree, we have to let them know, yes, I'm dad, or yes, I'm mom, but I'm also here for other things too. When you want to play, I can do that with you as well. I think that's the duality of being a parent.
Absolutely, because I think our children are used to hearing, I'm not one of your little friends.
Right. That,
So I
you know,
think
funny. You know the funny thing, and we kind of talked about this last week. Like my father never did any of that stuff with me. He didn't throw a ball with me. I think I can only remember my father playing catch with me one time. So we did not do those kind of things. We didn't look at him like that. Hey, can you sit and play checkers with me or play cards with me? It was totally different. And as I said last time, I think with my children, I wanted to make a concerted effort that the things that I didn't get, playing with me, shooting a basketball with me, wrestling and jousting me around, I wanted to make sure I provided those things for my children because I did not get that from my father.
Yeah, I think a lot of us growing up, we had the fathers who knew how to go to work and, make sure the household was taken care of, but the interaction with their kids wasn't how we always pictured it.
And you know, the other thing I think you gain as the child when you do these things with your father, there's a level of confidence that the children gain from playing with the father. There's a comfort that I now get from being with my father. I can compete against my father in this sport. So when I go out and I play against the other boys or the other girls, I kept up with my dad. So it'll be easier out here um, with people my age.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The next topic is the principled guide, meaning that you serve as the guiding authority for your kids. How do you feel about that when it comes to your children in your role as a father?
It's tough because, again, I hate to repeat myself from last week. My mother was the guide for me and my brother. Um, I had to learn how to do it from a masculine perspective because it's very different. It is tough to do these things when you've never seen it. Like you look at nature, you see a lion and the lioness in the jungle. The cubs learn their roles by watching the male and the female. And it is the way I believe it is supposed to be for us as well. But when that one is missing, then there's that void and that gap um, in the child as they grow older. It is difficult to do things that you have never seen anyone else do. Um, I tried to make sure that I was not heavy-handed because I think by nature, as males, there's that tendency to be heavy and just discipline, discipline, discipline. And I tried to strike that balance. I do believe with my children because don't take me off the call for saying this. Even when they get in trouble, I used to have a rule where I said, if it makes me laugh, you won't get in trouble. It's just got to make me laugh. It's got to make me laugh, though. And that's my way of balancing this thing out. I think everything boils down to balance. And I believe now in the Black community, there is a lack of balance. And that's what I'm trying to show my children. Yes, I'm dad. Yes, I can be strong, but I'm going to show you this side too to make you whole.
You know, it's funny you say that, Captain Audrey. I've been blessed that my parents. Um, my mom's deceased, but she lived until 92, and my dad just celebrated his 90th birthday on Sunday, and I've seen both. I've come up in the strict Caribbean household where my dad was the disciplinarian and my mom did everything else. But from the time they turned 70 and they had that grandchild, they were totally. I'm like, who are you people?
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I mean, today we went to Home
Exactly.
Goods. Today we went to Home Goods. We found him a good seat. He sat and he wanted me to bring everything that I bought for the holidays for his approval. Then we went to Macy's and he wanted me to try on the dresses and then come out and so he could say, I like that one. I'm like, who are you?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
what I'm saying to that is for those of us whose parents are Caribbean or even African American, and they were disciplinarian, and the roles were dad is a disciplinarian, mom did everything else. If you are lucky by God's grace and His mercy to have parents over 70, you will see that other side that Captain Autry now is working hard to make sure that he shows his kids that. Not to take anything away from his dad,
Yes.
but it's just something about those later years. They want to be your friend. My dad wants to wipe my, if I'm eating and there's something by my mouth, he's jumping up because he's dad and mom now to wipe my mouth. I never had those things growing up. He wants to hug and kiss me every day and every night. So it's a whole new world for me. And it's a great relationship. And I'm so thankful for it.
And Doc, I'm glad you said that about once they reach 70, because keep in mind when I say this stuff about what I missed or didn't get from my father died when I was 14 years old. My father was in his 40s. So I never saw, he was barely
Oh,
in his 40s. So I never saw the transition. We didn't get to that.
yeah. So sorry. So I'm experiencing it for both of us, and I'm sharing with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I up until his 40s and 50s and stuff, I went through what you went through. You know what I'm saying? Dad was a tyrant. You wait for your father to come home. He's going to take care of you. You
Yes.
know. And now it's the complete opposite. He doesn't want to shout. He doesn't want to yell. He wants to have fun. And I'm like, Dad, we're going to Macy's. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm like, Dad, I'm going to try on dresses. I want to see them. I want to see them. I'm like, dude, who are you? You know? But I embraced it and I had tears coming down my eyes in Macy's. And the lady asked me what's wrong. I said, no, it's what's right. I was like, I don't have my mom anymore. And my dad is here with me. And it's a great moment.
It's funny because when I was younger, I had someone say to me, every child is a chance to correct the mistakes you made as the parent from the first one. So whatever you didn't get right on that first child, second child, you see, okay, we didn't do that. Let's fix it here. And I think grandparents function the same way. Those grandchildren give them a chance to do things a little different too than they did with their own children.
Yeah, she gets away with murder. She can do anything she wants to do.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. My kids are spoiled rotten by their grandfather, who I saw irregularly because he was in the military, so he was always gone. It was just my mom. And when those kids were born, literally when they're in Florida, he's up all night watching TV, eating ice cream. Mind you, he has to go to work the next day, but he's up playing. And when when it's time for them to leave to come back home, like the tears, not from them, but from him, because he's just like, the house is going to be quiet now. It's just that change, and it's good to see because your kids are able to grow up with their grandparents. So the last one is the preparer. And in the many changes in this society, how do we prepare our kids? What does that look like to you? How does that change the way that you father them? That relates, to the overall awareness of what's going on with our children nowadays. How do you prepare your kids?
I think that's a great one because I believe that's what's missing in our community as a whole. Um, in the old days there was something called in other traditions the rites of passage. So from every age, when you hit this age, there were things that you went through that you had to check the boxes in order for the family to say he's ready for that next stage, she's ready for that next stage. But we don't have that now. We don't have that. And again, I think, I don't know if we could talk about the churches, the mosques, the temples in our neighborhoods. How do we get with them to say, how do we build out something for all of these boys, all of these girls that we have in our communities that need those preparatory steps to get them ready for what they're going to face out here? Because we know now, all of us can sit back and talk about what the issues are, but it's time we build a plan and institutions to say we're going to build and fix this for ourselves, because I think it goes beyond what I do for my children, what you all do for your children. We have to fix this holistically in our communities.
And I agree with you. You know, churches very important. ENT is always going to embrace the churches, the organizations. It doesn't matter what religion we're talking about. The biggest concern I do have, though, is, you know, we have to stop branding them saying Gen Zs. We have to accept them for who they are. This is the new generation.
Yes,
I heard a news reporter talk to LL Cool J this weekend. I was just looking at the TV, and she was asking him about this generation. He says, the biggest problem I have is manners. He says, everybody has to have manners. He says, once everybody has manners, I'm good with them. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to, this, our generation, we have to look to them and learn from them. We got to pour into them, but we can't negate them.
that's
And
right.
a lot of times, too often, oh yeah, there they go again. What they gonna do? They ain't up to no good. They just da 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 da. No, let's look at the good that they bring to the table. And when they're doing good things, let's talk about it. Let's shout it from the rooftops.
That's right.
When they do things that we might not like or we can't connect with, let's sit down and have a conversation. Now, it's how you have that conversation
Yes.
that makes the difference. And I'm going to ask Dr. Perez to talk a little bit about this. And there are a lot of people on this chat. I see Louisa is on the chat, Miss Keisha is on the chat, Sophia has joined. Please, let's hear your point of view. Nicholas, let's, because this is a really critical topic, and we have such an amazing guest with us. But that is real. We cannot negate what they bring to the table.
Hello, my name is Luisa. I wanted to say that I have two girls, and I have a 9 year old and a 19-year old. And I speak to my girls daily about life. How do you walk in life? How do you dress? How do you talk to people? How do you approach people? Because people see you and that's how they treat you. And I always tell them, no matter what your color is, but if you have education, when you go places, excuse me, pardon me, be organized, be nice to people, obviously, but respect overall, respect yourself, respect others, so other people can respect you. So I always tell them that about life. Life is not easy. Life is not a joke, especially now in these days. All these things is going on in the world. It's hard to people to comprehend, but I always trying to teach my girls to see, to look at what I did, what I do every day, what my sisters do, what my stepmother do, what my other sisters do, so we can learn from each other. And any question they have, they can come to me anytime for anything. Not just my girls, my nieces, my nephews, my co-workers. We are here to help our kids. Not just to sit back and relax. No, we're here to help the kids. If you have a problem, you come to me. So I always teach my girls, come to your mama. I speak to my girls daily about the world. It's not simple. It's not that easy. It's not going to get easier either. It's going to get worse. So you need to be prepared for it.
I love it. I love it. You are absolutely right. Come to me, come to mommy, come to daddy, come to grandma, whoever it is, whatever your family situation looks like. You got to tell these babies they can come to you. And whatever coming back to Louisa, because I know her and I know how she raises her girls. The topic might not be the one that you want to talk about. Their first kiss, They're not knowing if they're binary, non-binary, whatever it is, you know. Whatever, a teacher getting on their nerves, a family member doing something to them, you got to listen.
Hi, my name is Diallo Watts, and I am a part of the ENT Youth Partners. I just wanted to insert a short interruption to tell you about our sponsor. Today, our sponsor is you, the listener. Thank you so much for donating to ENT Youth Services on our website. Every dollar goes towards plans to continue our impactful workshops, expand our reach on social media, continue our successful podcast, and so much more. If you would like to sponsor ENT, please email us at contact@entyouth.com. Thank you so much for your continued support. Now, let's get back to the episode.
I know there was this situation. I was on a plane, and this was a few years ago,
That's
but
Minister.
I had gotten a new iPhone. And I knew you had to do something to the phone or you wouldn't be able to see the entertainment. And I handed the phone to the young man who was sitting next to me. And I said, "Could you hook my phone up so that I can have entertainment once the plane takes off?" And what we had an opportunity to do
Yeah.
was have a conversation where he told me with tech, and I'm saying social media and what's been able to happen with it and the means of communication with it. He told me that in every other circumstance, you learn the etiquette about it from somebody who introduced you to it.
Hmm.
The reverse is not true with technology because that etiquette is coming from an older generation. So it's an opportunity for real melding, a real coming together. How can we share